Welcome, welcome in this video. This is another video for Azure and DevOps related interview questions and answer. This interview was taken by Xorient solution for the Azure admin position. Those having 2 or 3 years of experience. Fresher can refer these questions and can see my other videos for more questions. So let's start with the first question. First question is how to create 10 virtual machine. To create a virtual machine, multiple virtual machine, there is a three approach we can use. First approach is we can use a virtual machine scale set VMSS for creating 10 identical virtual machine at a time. Then another approach will be create a virtual machine and then take a snapshot of the OS image and create multiple virtual machine using that image. Next approach will be we can create a virtual machine using a PowerShell script and add the count how many virtual machines do you want to create. So these three approach you can use to create a multiple virtual machine. Then next question, by mistake you run a script second time for the same virtual machine, what will be the error or output you will get? So this question, if you run the same script the second time, then you will get do you want to override the resources or not? It will ask if you want to override the resources, press yes or otherwise not. Then third question is what is the web app? Why do we call PaaS services? So web app is the PaaS service and it is fully managed by platform as a service because we don't require to install and configure operating systems or security patches or any other installation. In PaaS services, we can directly use it. Everything will be taken care by Microsoft itself. Like runtime. Runtime means which technology you are you using, like .NET, Java, Ruby, Python. Then OS or other installation or configuration. We don't need to do anything. Just we can use it. Okay. Then next question. How do we deploy application on web apps? So to deploy an application on web apps, there are three methods and we can use one of them. First is we can deploy application directly using operations like drag and drop on deployment slot. So go to the advanced tool, go to debug tool, select PowerShell, then select site slash then select www root. Here you can paste your code and in app service editor we can edit our code. Then second approach is we can deploy application using a third party tool like WinSCP or FileZilla. You can directly copy from your on-premise code to cloud using this WinSCP third party tool. Third is also we can deploy the application using the Visual Studio. So you just need to connect your Visual Studio to your cloud account. Okay. Next, major components in Azure DevOps. So DevOps has 5 major components. First is a board, second is repos, third is a pipeline, uh, then test plan and artifacts. So here board is used for to see the overview of the project or track the task, epics and bugs. Then repo is used for version control system like Git repository. And third is a pipeline which is used to create and build the pipeline. Then next is a test plan. So test using for test cases. And last is artifact which we can use or wrap all the code into the artifacts. So these are the 5 major components in Azure DevOps. Next question. What is a Git branching strategy? Okay, so there is a one default branch called master branch, and for each task has one separate branch called feature branch. After done with the code other branches, it will merge with the master branch. This concept used with the parallel development. Small branch we called as a feature branch, as I said. This branch then later merge with master branch. So this is the Git branching strategy. So some Git commands you need to remind, to list all the branches. We can use git branch -e. Then to create a new branch, we use git branch or branch name. Then to move one branch to another branch, we can use git checkout and branch name. And to delete the branch, we can use git branch -d x our branch name. Okay, so this is the git commands you need to remind. Next question, which version control system used? So basically this question is asking about your project or which version control system are you using. Okay, so here in my case I am using a GitHub and Azure repos. You can say as per your use. Okay, next question, workflow of Git. As already we discussed these questions, what is the Git branching strategy? Then next question is how to integrate Azure DevOps with GitHub. So first, if you don't have any account on a GitHub, then create a GitHub account, then create repository and make it public. Then go to the repository, there is a code, click on it and copy the URL of the code. Then go to the repos, means Azure repos on the DevOps portal. Then select import a repository, select repository type and paste your URL of GitHub which was copied earlier. Then click on some required authentications, give your email address, your password and click on pass import. You can also directly click on import instead of giving email and password. Okay, so this way we can integrate the Azure DevOps with GitHub. Next question, what is VNet and how to communicate between two different subnet? So VNet, first of all understand the VNet. What is VNet? VNet is a fundamental block of VPN used to communicate securely within the resources. For communication within the two different subnet, we have to mention NSG. NSG means Network Security Group, or NSG is a set of rules which allows incoming traffic with limitation within the virtual network. It is nothing but a collection of inbound and outbound rules which will accept and deny the incoming traffic. Then next question, common issue faced while build a pipeline in Azure DevOps. So this is the open question for you, and tell them which issue faced so far while working on a CI/CD pipeline. Also tell them what kind of actions you had taken to resolve this issue. For example, I had many issues faced in day-to-day tasks like facing an issue of artifacts not generating, SCM, source code management related issue, or extension related issues. So you can tell your story there. Next question is, it is possible to communicate within a different subscription VNet. So answer is yes. Virtual machine in the paired VNet can communicate with each other as if they are within the same network. This virtual network can be in the same region or in different region, also known as global peering. VNet peering connection can also be created across the Azure subscription. Next question, different between variable and variable group. So this questions answer you can find yourself and comment me, okay, in comment box. Next question, you have built application pipeline, release pipeline. How would you deploy specific application through CI/CD? How to deploy so and so application and so web apps? So answer is while creating a release pipeline, you can select a target resource from drop down list. Also one approach is you can select the resource by using their tags name. Okay, so this way we can select. Now next question, you have 10 most web apps, so how can it possible to deploy application on specific name web app? So you can select target resource while creating release pipeline, and or another approach will be by giving tag names to the resource and then use it. This question is similar to previous question, so same answer will be apply. Next, you if your deployment is failed, then how will you roll back application process? How to roll back application process? So give these questions, answer in the comment box. Find yourself if you are working on the DevOps position and finding such issue, then how will you can resolve this issue yourself. Okay, so give this answer in the comment box. Next, have you been involved in SQL activities, talking database backup or creating virtual machine or automation? So tell which activities you did and you are doing daily. Okay. Next question, difference between .mdf file and .ldf file. So a file with the .mdf extension is a master database file. Long form is master database file by Microsoft SQL to store the user data, and .ldf files which records all the transaction and changes to the database. The LDF is critical for disaster recovery. Next question, how to take backup of database? So this is the crucial question. If you had practice, then you can resolve yourself, but I can give answer like to take a backup for database we require storage account, and see already we have database. By default backups are happen for every minute. So go to the SQL server and there is a option backup, then select the database. We have only database, so select it, then select the retention policy, highlight the database, then configure the policy, then see, then minute backup we can call point in time restore. see many days. You can maximum days 35 maximum days you can store the backup. Okay, so this is the long process. You can find this answer by yourself. Okay, I would suggest you practice on it on database. Next question. Under the VNet, I have three subnet. How can communicate three virtual machines? So first, configure the network security group NSG and allow the inbounds rule. So this way you can communicate three virtual machine. Next, if you define CI/CD range 10.200.20.0/16, by default how many VMs are allocated by Azure? Okay, so by default only one virtual machine will allocate. Next question, how many IPs will allocate? So this is the range of /16. So here you can calculate. So 65,536 IPs will allocate here. Okay. Next question. If you require 200 virtual machine in production environment, what is your CI/CD range for VNet level? So CI/CD range will be range should be /24, so that we can get 255 IPs. Next question, what is the port number for RDP? So full form of the RDP, remote desktop protocol. So this 3389 is the RDP port. Next question, what is NSG? So as we discussed already, network security group is a fundamental block of VPN. By using this, resources can communicate with high securely. It is a set of inbound and outbound rules. Using this, we can limit the traffic. So this is very important topic, NSG. You can take information more about NSG. Next question. You are working for Wellwish Corporation. Your your machine should be accessible for that organization only. So what is your inbound rule? So this is the basic question or real-time questions. We can set rule by allowing a subnet IP of the organization, and you can give this answer means a different approach. So here rule one, allow like allow the IP, source IP and destination IP. Then next question, I have rule 100 which RDP deny and rule 200 which RDP allow. So will it be able to access RDP or not? So you will not be able to access the RDP because in first rule there is a priority 100. It become condition is true, so it will not check again or another condition. So you will not able to access the RDP in this case. Next question, how to create a private subnet? So using virtual network you can create a private subnet. You have to mention the private endpoint there. While you are creating the virtual network, you will get this private subnet. Next, what different types of storage? So we know there are the three different type of storage. First is a general purpose V2 storage, general purpose V1 storage, and blob storage. In general purpose version 2 account, It support the latest Azure storage feature and incorporate all of the functionality of general purpose version 1 and blob storage account. Okay, then general purpose v1 accounts, actually it does not support all the features. Yes, it is a low, provide access to all the Azure storage service but may not have the latest features or the lower per gigabyte pricing. Then blob storage account is a specialized storage account for storing the unstructured object data as a blob. So basically three storage account we have. Next question. So difference between file share and blob storage. So here you can find this question yourself. You can This is the very easy question. And file shares offer fully managed file shares in the cloud that are accessible in the industry standard. It uses the server message block SMB protocol, and Azure's file share can be mounted concurrently by cloud or on-premise deployment of Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Okay, then file share can sync directly from your on-premise to cloud. So you can find this answer as yourself. And then blob storage, if you want your application to support streaming and random access scenario, then you can use blob storage, and it is able to access the application data from anywhere. So this using the URL base, and Azure file is if you want to lift and shift an application to the cloud, which is already uses the native file system. Okay. So you can find yourself this question's answer. Next, Azure automation means. So automation is one of those techniques that allow you to automate your task in a cloud-based environment. Azure automation is all about automating manual and repetitive tasks in the cloud environment. This means that you don't need a virtual machine or a physical machine. It allows you to automate tasks on a cloud environment that is hosted by Microsoft Azure. Azure automation is also referred to as a Azure Runbook frequently. Runbook enables organization to save time and increase the reliability and of regular executive tasks. Okay, so different categories are the automations you can find yourself. Okay, like process automation, configuration automation. When we require configuration, then we can use automation script. Or if any kind you need upgrade management, then also you can use automation. So different types of categories you can use the automation. Then next, I have one machine and I have installed all the softwares like IPs, MS Office, IS server and some other tools. I would do to 10 virtual machine with same configuration. What is the provision for that? So this is the very open question. First, create one virtual machine with required specification, and take a snapshot of the OS image, and then create another 10 virtual machines by using that OS image. In this way you can create the identical virtual machine. Okay, next, what is a lift and shift method? So it is a method in which data is shifted from on-premise to Azure as it is without changes, is called lift and shift method. It will never change in application environment, networks and other. Okay, this is called the lift and shift method. Next question is what you did so far. This is the open question and this related to your work. So what you did so far means you had done some work, or like you can have this is the for example, if you migrate on premise application on Azure, you can tell them, or create the storage account, or create users or groups and then assign roles using the script, or also you can say migrate on premise database to cloud using a DMAT and Azure migration services. Also you can say create and deploy 1000 virtual machine using the PowerShell automation script, or load balancer, configure the virtual network, then subnets and connect the database using the web apps. So different type of task you did in your Azure admin position. Okay, so these are the question which uh, I had asked from the Xorient solution. So I hope you would like, and it will helpful to you. So if you like this video, please like and share, and also find search my video other interviews video. You will find the interview question on other videos also. So thank you, and please like and share.